Hey yo, first and foremost, shout out to Lamont Roach and Tank. That was a great fight. I enjoyed it. But yo, I'm making this video because for the whole build-up, y'all were killing me over my victory over Lamont, saying that he wasn't worthy of the Tank fight. But at the end of the day, I don't care what y'all say, I got that W. That's all I'm saying. I got that.
The boxing world is buzzing after the intense showdown between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach. Here are the most shocking reactions to the fight. Lamont Roach is no stranger to Gervonta Tank Davis. The two first crossed paths in the amateur ranks, building a history that added extra weight to their recent showdown. Roach's father and trainer, Lamont Roach Sr., has watched Davis evolve into a boxing superstar, but past familiarity meant nothing in the lead-up to this fight. Tensions ran high, and the atmosphere crackled with intensity. The MY mindset is to beat him, Roach told Boxing Scene before the fight. Roach claimed his title in November 2023, defeating Hector Luis Garcia on the undercard of David Benavidez's dominant victory over Demetrius Andrade. He successfully defended it once against Fergal McCrory on ProBox TV before landing the biggest opportunity of his career, a showdown with Davis. "This camp is different because I feel like they're counting me out," said Roach. The 29-year-old's anticipation only grew after Terence Crawford's bold remarks. The former undisputed champion asserted that, in today's boxing landscape, only his close friend Shakur Stevenson and stablemate Keyshawn Davis, who recently broke into the lightweight division's elite, had the skill to hand Gervonta Davis his first major defeat. Davis, known for his relentless finishing ability, has built a reputation for forcing opponents into retreat with his power. His last fight saw him stop Frank Martin in his only bout of 2024, following a brutal knockout of Ryan Garcia the previous year. Many viewed Roach as facing an insurmountable challenge, but so did Muhammad Ali when he stepped into the ring against George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle, and that fight became legendary. Roach wasted no time making his intentions clear, kicking off the trash talk with a bold declaration: "Roses are red, violets are blue. March 1st sounds like," and new. Davis, never one to back down, fired back immediately. "Roses are red, violets are blue. March 1st sounds like, don't worry, baby, you'll be home soon from the hospital." Fans flooded social media with their reactions, ranging from excitement to dismissal. One thing was certain: the build-up to the fight was electric. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford comments added more fuel to the fire. Alongside Stevenson and others rallying behind Keyshawn Davis, Crawford stirred speculation about future matchups. When asked about the possibility of title unification, Crawford simply shrugged. "Whoever," he said before adding, "Tank knows what he's up against when he fights Shakur or Keyshawn." Criticism of Davis resurfaced, with Crawford echoing familiar sentiments. Tank has been facing opponents who don't truly challenge him. They might have a little skill here and there, but mentally, they won't be able to keep it up for a whole fight, Crawford said. Was Roach another name to be overlooked? Crawford didn't explicitly mention him among those who could dethrone Davis. Instead, he doubled down on his belief that only two fighters posed a true threat. Those two, Shakur and Keyshawn, you know what I mean? They're the ones that'll give Tank his first defeat. Now, with the fight in the books, the world is reacting to an intense battle that lived up to the hype.
I said it on Twitter, it went viral when I said the top 5 thing. A lot of people agreed, a lot of people disagreed. Tank said I was a meat lover. He came in, like, "Oh, this guy, you a meat lover."
But Tank would never even think about hesitating to come up to 154.
What about 47 though?
Yes, if he get to pick his opponent. If Tank get to pick his opponent, he would do it. But Tank would never come from 35 to 54.
Former champion Mikey Garcia shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated showdown between Gervonta, Tank Davis, and Lamont Roach during an interview with Fight Hub TV. While discussing the matchup, Garcia also revealed why he isn't particularly excited about a potential Davis versus Shakur Stevenson fight, despite its significance in the lightweight division. Garcia praised Davis, acknowledging his dominance in the weight class, that "I think Tank is one of the very best fighters in the lightweight division," Garcia said before the fight. "I don't think Roach poses a huge threat for him. Tank is very talented, very skilled, and also very experienced at this point. He's seen just about every style, and his power is tremendous. He has that knockout ability and the confidence to use it." Garcia further added, "It's hard to go against Tank. No disrespect to Roach, but Tank is a beast. He's been proving it every fight, and I think he'll win this one too." While a future showdown between Davis and Stevenson remains one of the most intriguing possibilities in boxing, Garcia admitted he isn't a fan of the matchup, that I do believe Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter. He's got the skills, talent, footwork, speed, reflexes, and counterpunching ability. He's one of the best, Garcia acknowledged. But I'm not a fan of that fight because Shakur is the kind of fighter who sticks to his game plan, regardless of what the fans or critics want. Winning is winning for him, as a fight fan. Garcia admitted this approach doesn't appeal to him. While he respects Stevenson's skills, he prefers matchups that promise more action. Instead, he expressed interest in seeing Davis face Vasily Lomachenko, believing the Ukrainian would be more willing to engage in Shakur style makes for a dull, less exciting fight, and I think that's why he'll struggle to land big fights unless he adjusts his approach, Garcia explained. Until then, I don't think Tank or any serious threat fights him. Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley weighed in before the fight, predicting a dominant victory for Davis. Lamont Roach has done his best to stay optimistic. He's pointed out that he's seen Davis in the amateurs and knows his style. He's motivated to build his legacy and sees the financial rewards of pulling off an upset, Lampley said. But what he hasn't done is provide a convincing strategy to solve the puzzle that has led to a long string of brutal knockouts. That's what makes Tank Davis one of the biggest names in boxing. Lampley emphasized that Davis isn't just a power puncher. He's a well-rounded, highly skilled fighter. Even without his shocking power, Tank would still be an elite lightweight because of his crafty boxing, southpaw stance, footwork, and killer instinct. But it's his raw power that separates him. He doesn't just beat opponents, he annihilates them in breathtaking, often scary fashion, Lampley added. Drawing a comparison to a prime Mike Tyson, Lampley noted that Davis's knockouts are picturesque and that his patient, counterpunching style often leads to explosive finishes. Although Roach claimed to have improved, Lampley was skeptical about his chances. When I asked the most experienced boxing writer I know what chance Roach had, the response was, the same chance a caterpillar has against a steamroller. Lampley predicted Davis would win by mid-round TKO and then move on to potential showdowns with Lomachenko, Stevenson, or Keyshawn Davis, each of whom, in his opinion, would present a greater challenge than Roach. Boxing legend Bernard Hopkins also shared his thoughts on the matchup during an interview with Fight Hub TV's Michelle Joy, Phelps.Tiomi. Tank Davis is going to give anybody problems, Hopkins said. The burden is on Roach, or anybody else, to prove otherwise. In this case, that burden was on Roach. Hopkins emphasized that Davis couldn't afford to overlook Roach despite being the heavy favorite. Tank cannot underestimate Roach. Roach is a very good fighter. He can box, he can punch, and he has confidence from the amateurs, Hopkins explained. Hopkins also pointed out that Roach had initially agreed to fight Davis in the past, but the fight never materialized because Roach wasn't yet a champion. Instead, the PBC chose Hector Luis Garcia as Davis's opponent at the time. While Hopkins appeared to support Davis, he wasn't letting the Baltimore star get too comfortable. He issued a warning about Roach's skills and the unpredictability of boxing. Anything can happen in this sport, Hopkins said. Both guys need to come in ready to as the dust settles from the Davis versus Roach showdown. The boxing world continues to react. Whether it's potential future fights against Stevenson, Lomachenko, or Keyshawn Davis, one thing remains clear. Gervonta Davis is a force to be reckoned with, and his next move will be watched closely by fans and analysts alike. That's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you never miss our upcoming content.